What's up, everybody? Welcome back. I'm Mad and Magical, and this is WorthTV. So jumping right into the news, we gotta talk about something we actually skipped over yesterday. I decided not to make a video because this was the only major thing that happened, and that was Flyquest and Snickers partnering up together. And this just shows more money coming into the NALCS. And this one actually, I thought was really funny because you look at it on paper, you're like, why is Snickers getting involved with an NALCS team? I mean, if it's money, it's something. But the funnier part for me is the fact that there's gonna be Snickers MVPs of the week for Flyquest, where each week there's going to be a fan vote where the fans can go online, say who they thought from Flyquest was the best person of that week. But honestly, it feels like just a little bit of a stretch because you have to win games first. You can't just assume that you're going to be the team that wins every single time. I mean, watch, Flyquest doesn't win a single game all season, then how do you make a video for that? It's a little bit awkward at that point. And one more thing I do want to talk about before I move into all the news that happened today, and there's only one really big drop, so we'll cover that in just a second, but the thing I need to talk about is this article that LoL Esports released on their website, where it goes over all their players to watch, where it's pretty much everyone you'd expect, really. Meteos, Double Lift were on there, Wild Turtle. But the thing that I want to talk about is not that article. It was another article by a guy named Izento. He posted it up online today, and it actually covers all the players that you should watch out for that haven't been seen before, such as Licorice and Fly. So I honestly think you should read through it. It's a really good read. I'll link it below and giving him a little bit of a shout out just because I really did like it. And it gave me a good insight into players I didn't really know too much about before, except for the challenger scene where we briefly saw them. So hopefully it gives you guys a little bit more insight like it did for me. So for the big bomb of news for the day, the NALCS Academy League has been announced. It's going to start this Thursday, January 18th, so you'll be able to check out all these games. For Thursday matches, they won't be shown live on the Riot channel. Instead, you'll have to go over to the YouTube channel, LoL Esports, in order to watch those. They'll be uploaded after the games end. And then for any other day, it's going to be after the EULCS end, so 3 p.m. And I believe that's only on Fridays, so you won't have to worry too much about missing out on anything. But this league is really cool. I read up on it and was trying to get an idea of how teams would be, how they would incorporate that with being a lot different from the challenger scene. And with these new rules that they've implemented, I can see what they're trying to go for, but at the same time, there are a little bit of question marks that will have to be determined whether or not the teams themselves decide to exploit some of these loopholes. So the first rule is regarding imports, and it's the exact same as in NALCS. The Academy League is only going to allow in 2 imports per team, but they're 2 different imports, so you don't have to worry about your pro league over here having to only have 1 person, or even none if you have 2 imports over on your academy. It's going to be a total of 4 for an organization if you include both NALCS and the Academy Leagues, so it's pretty nice for them that way. But I also like that they're keeping it at 2 because you're trying to make it so that you get some more of this homegrown talent with the rookies, or you can even do what some of these teams have done, such as bringing in Levi or Lost. We're experimenting with these imports, so you can throw them into the Academy League instead of saying, no, it's only for NA grown talent. You're like, okay, well, what if we want to bring in an import from OCE, such as Lost, or you want to go with the GPL with Levi? It's really nice to see these teams try to experiment and really change the mold that we're so used to seeing. And this idea of experimentation actually leads into the next rule, which is the veteran limit rule, where you're only allowed 3 vets per team. And what they actually mean by vets, they outline this nicely for us, is that if you've played more than 50% of games in the past 2 splits for an organization, you're considered a veteran. So Lost, that we were just talking about, actually would fall under that rule because he was a part of the OCE team before, so he's considered a veteran in the league. Though someone like Olorum, who's coming in, won't actually have to worry about that. He was just a substitute. He never actually got to see too much of the play, so it's a nice thing to see that Riot's really trying to bolster up the talent coming in, especially with rookies. But the next rule honestly makes me question whether or not that's fully true. And this rule I'm talking about is about the mobility of players from the LCS to the Academy Leagues. There's free mobility of players going from LCS to Academy, Academy to the LCS. In fact, players can play in all 4 games for a week for both the LCS and the Academy Leagues, as long as they let Riot know by Wednesday of that week that they're going to have these players playing. And that does make you kind of question how Riot's going to hold on to this. They said themselves that this is the most experimental rule that they're going with, but I can see why they're okay with it. They feel that if teams don't try to abuse it, don't go for the loophole, and making it so that they win both LCS and the Academy Leagues, that's fine. You're okay, because maybe there's something going on with visa issues. So say someone like Levi is having a hard time actually making it so that he can play in the LCS. They need to bring in someone else to hold on for him, put Meteos there for a little bit, just until they get Levi fully set in. I understand that. But if they start trying to Iron Man people and make it so that they go for all 4 games every single week so that they can win both leagues, definitely going to be questionable. And I hope Riot is very proactive with this, and that if teams start doing this too much, they shut it down instantly. There's no way that a team can actually go for this throughout the entirety of the spring split. It gets taken away right out from under the feet of the team. But we'll have to see. As long as Riot's being very on the ball with things, I trust them on this one. And with that, that's going to conclude the news for the day. Again, there wasn't too much. There was more than yesterday, because we had this drop coming in from the NALCS Academy teams. But outside of that, it feels like there's not going to be too much news until the leagues start. At least until the LPL, LCK, NA, EU start up. We're going to have a little bit of a drought. I'm going to try to fill up the void with some videos on my opinions on all of these leagues. But until the next video, guys, if I see you tomorrow, see you then.